21st century Africa, a continent undergoing great change and finally seizing control of its image. But it's been a long battle. 100 years ago, photography was a colonial tool.
Prince George has had a royal welcome from the great Zulu nation.
The time has come for the independent African state.
In the post-colonial euphoria, photographers like Malik Sidibe captured the new confidence. But elsewhere, the narrative was of a corrupt, unmanageable continent, often reduced to just one image. Now, a new generation is using photography to celebrate, to question, and represent a continent on the rise.
My name is George Osodi. I'm a photographer. My photography usually covers a broad range of issues, especially when it comes to my country, Nigeria. I'm from the oil-rich Niger Delta region, one of the most beautiful places on earth. We've got great culture, we've got great vegetation, and oil. It's black gold. I've flown over Delta for several times, but I've never seen this level of damage. It's just incredible, the level of pollution. There've always been several blames in the Delta. It's a very complicated situation. Everyone is confused. Everyone is involved. Everyone has a responsibility to play in this regard. My responsibility is what I'm doing right now. I don't have anything to offer, but as a photographer who is keeping a record and documenting this process and showcasing it to everyone who cares to see. I worked in a bank, but deep down in me, I was not satisfied. So I decided to resign and take up a camera. At that stage, it was like a warfare. Everyone was against me, you know, my parents, my friends. They were like, what is this you're doing? You just had a good job and you're leaving it for this? That's not gonna put food on your table? I was kicked out from I was living in a two-bedroom flat as a banker then. And then I was kicked out because I couldn't pay my rent anymore. And then I moved to a single-room apartment. And I had to sell everything I had just to finance my photography. But then there was this burning thing in me that wanted me to just do something much more creative.
I bet let us get that. After my passo, will they help me end down with when? Because then we go here, when.
Right now, my current project is the Nigerian monarchs. There's been frequent clashes among different ethnic groups. I realized that a lot of people have lost trust in their identity. I felt it was important that we should see this diverse culture as a point of unity, instead of seeing it as something that should divide us as a nation. All right, bye. And the easiest way I could approach this was to look at the monarchy structure in the country, because they are even closer to the people than the governors.
Your Royal Majesty, Oloswe, Also, Osuto. Araka wadu. Araka wadu. Miawa wadu. Miawa wadu. Miyewa. The drinks there, the cola nuts, and the money, they are for you people. This is your table specially prepared for you people. We jointly chew the cola nut together and drink together.
Okay. You
want to do a little introduction?
Yes, I can just ask him very few questions, you know, and then we'll do the photo shoot because we don't want to lose the lights outside. Okay. Oroswe. Your Majesty, I want to thank you so much for giving us this warm welcome. It makes me feel like I'm just in the right kingdom at the right time. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So, Your Majesty, some say that these great diverse cultures in this country should divide us, and some say no, it should be a form of unity. We want to hear from your perspective. What is your thought towards this notion?
Peace is essential for development. Peace is essential for any human effort to succeed. Yes, we're not having the country of our dreams. If we look at the differences and clashes that we have, and linguistically, I can determine that we have more than 250 different ethnic groups. Now, when you add the subgroups, you'll be talking in excess of about 500. That in itself can be grounds for conflictual relationships.
This is Delta State, and your kingdom happened to fall into this state. We've had issues over the past of militancy and insecurity. We just wanted an insight.
We all know the reasons why the youths went into militant activities. Namely, there were exploitation of resources from this part of the country, and it's being utilized elsewhere. Those who sit by the resources are seriously disadvantaged, and in fact, it became a curse rather than a blessing. For us as monarchs, ours is complementary. We can only complement what the government of the day wants to do. We articulate what we think we need. And as they say, he who wears the shoes knows where it pinches.
Wait. Hello, sir. Hello. Come on, sir.
He's taller than me, so let's
sir, you are covering him, sir.
Behind me.
No, sir. See how these people are staying. That's it, sir. Like this. Sir. Like this. That's it. Okay, that's fine. Good. Yes, let's try something. I just want women on one side and then men on one side. I try to put some chiefs behind just to create a little bit of compact texture, but then a lot of them still prefer to stay in front. You see the attires, everything was very traditional and very beautiful. I mean, you're facing the camera and you want to see yourself looking rich and good. It's for people to come out in their own grace and dignity. So if they do that, all I have to do is to blend and flow with the rhythm. There's a lot of heritage and customs that are found in many of these kingdoms. For this project, I really wanted to portray this. So we are right now at the source of the famous Artscape River. The unique thing about this river is from under a very huge cotton tree and spreads into so many kingdoms. That's it. This is the source. Let me find out from the guy who's got here. Hey, friend, could you just give us a little bit of insight?
Yes. As you can see now, the water is reaching under the big tree. This is the cleanest and the deepest water in West Africa. Yeah, as you can see now, there are people that come to pay homage to this place.
Yeah.
Because you know we are Africans.
Yeah.
You cannot rule out idol worshiping.
I know.
Yeah, people are still worshiping the tree to remove the river.
Okay. You see, they're coming to have the sacrifice made. People travel from various places around the Delta region to pay homage to the river and also worship the god. There's a shrine here. So is it the chief priest of the shrine?
Yes.
Okay, very good. That's beautiful. All right, Papa, thank you so much. Looking at photographing about 100 kings, because about 100 years ago, precisely in 1914, the British merged these various kingdoms to become one country called Nigeria. Nigeria is a country with about 160 million people. That makes it the largest black nation in the whole world. So that's like a gold mine in terms of its people and culture. This is the Emir of Kano. Of course, it's one of the most important monarch in the country, and it's in the northern part of the country, which is more of Islamic area. And you can see its head tied with the turban. So it's like a scarf that they wrap over their face and head in a very stylish manner. After making this portrait, the king invited us over to follow him to when he was leaving for the mosques. He was riding in this silver chrome Rolls Royce, which is very classic and very, very British. It's very common to see a lot of things that are British connected in this country. You can see that robe of the king with the picture of the British Queen Elizabeth. That's very peculiar. Of course, we colonized by the British, and there's some pictures that were shot by the colonial masters, especially when a kingdom was captured. You could see that the king is not happy. It's sad because, it's not him really wanting to take his own picture. It's some master wanting to photograph him. There's a new power that has come to loot and take over his kingdom. Imagine what it is to depose a king. Some kings were almost worshipped. They were so powerful. They were like gods. documenting our past or our history. We are not too good at that. Most things that have happened in the past in the country were actually documented by foreign photographers from Europe or America.
Just bring your head out. Okay.
Minister, thank you. Thank you so much.
Give it to Valentine.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, please.
Take with your camera. He knows how to take it.
Okay. Okay.
There we go.
Okay. Your Majesty. Thank you so much.
George, I've been very, very impressed with your work. You're a pride to this nation because you're a young man that has decided with love and passion to go the lengths and breadth of this country to showcase to the rest of the world where you come from. That is something very laudable. When we are having many crises in the country, you are indeed taking your time to show the country at its best. Nigeria is quite young where it concerns the Agbo Kingdom. This kingdom, dating back as far as 721 BC, being one of the oldest kingdoms in the entire Africa. Our people were here during the times of Christ. I see it as an opportunity. The monarchy is certainly an opportunity to serve my people. For example, during the worst of the crisis, when the Niger Delta was a very, very hot bed, I personally went to the creeks. I knew that it was a very dangerous thing to do, but I will never forget the shock of the Niger Delta boys that the king of Agbo would come to the creeks and try to build some form of harmony. We are all representations of the earth as a whole. We are all like capillaries, veins, blood vessels. If any part of the world is sick, then we as the world are sick. The world is almost 70% water, and truly the human body is equally 70% water. So I think in that, God tries to show us something. We cannot separate ourselves from each other.
The pollution in the Delta region has never been disturbing as what it is today. We have so many oil companies operating in the Delta. Some of them once in a while would make mistake and then an oil spill into the vegetation. Sometimes they clean up, sometimes it's left. But now you have young men in their thousands that feel that they don't really have any means of survival, and that it's easier for them to break into pipeline, steal oil, refine it, make money. What they will say, it's the wealth in their backyard. Of course, they don't have the technical ability to clean up the spills that can arise as this result.
I grew up in this place, but today we have all deserted the place. No single fish will be found inside. No single fish. See the whole of this place. When I was a small boy and we were here, there was nothing like this. After school, we used to run to this place when the water is down like this. Yeah, in about 30 minutes, you catch a lot of fish for you and your family. This beach were lined up with fishing boats belonging to fishermen from Goi community. But now, as you can see yourself, no single boat.
Well, a very ugly situation look beautiful. When you see a beautiful picture, you want to know what it is, and that's a good drive to appreciate the situation better. Where's that?
Somebody saw us, and they maybe called him on phone that we are not here.
Yeah, we go.
Yeah. They employ youths where they call them surveillance contractors.
Yes.
Who are supposed to be watching the pipelines.
Yes.
So being one of us from this community, I can't send him back.
No. We have so much, but we just don't know how to manage this much that we have. Yeah, that's it. Let me just come out a little bit. So. That's it. Yeah, that's lovely. I feel it's important that I keep a photographic record. One more time, one more. Yes, that's it. Of some of these games for posterity.
My reign started on the 9th of October, 1946. I'm the longest reigning king in Africa and the second longest in the whole world. Having stayed for 66 years on the throne. It's not that easy to come across this. Traditional rulers made their own contribution to rule this nation.
This work is a wonderful throwback to the issue of identity, the issue of subjugation. I mean, it's not angry, it's not aggressive.
Yeah.
It's still relevant. I don't know, I think we have to really take our time to plan this exhibition, to plan the show so that we show it in the best possible way, so that we can also engage not just the art crowd or the cultured crowd, as it were. We should be able to engage the younger generation of people who really want to get to understand where we're coming from as a nation, all the things we've lost.
I mean, look at that. This is the Onion of Ife. It's looking very simple and straight, you know.
It's incredible. You're offering a new identity.
Yeah.
We've seen them displaced. We've seen them subjugated.
Yeah.
We've read about these in our history books. But to have a compilation that represents them in a dignified manner.
And celebrates them as well.
And celebrates them as well. In their, sort of ecology.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite portraits.
I plan to have them like really, really blown up, huge. I can imagine. See them hanging on the wall in a very elegant manner. I really can't wait for that time. Seriously.
I'm excited about it, actually.
Yeah.